But 2 Corinthians, look at that last verse in 3:18, and we're gonna walk through this chapter a little bit later in this lesson. But in verse 18, notice how this is present tense. This is a present tense reality that Paul says. He says, and we all, with unveiled face, beholding the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image from one degree of glory to another. For this comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit. So even now, even though we have this great hope in the future that we will see Christ face to face, someday in the future we will see him face to face. But even now, we are beholding the glory of the Lord and being transformed by it. Now, Paul mentions this again in 1 Corinthians 13, which you don't have to turn there. But this is he beautifully captures this already not yet aspect of beholding the glory of the Lord. He writes, for now, so already, we see in a mirror dimly. But then, future, face to face. He says, now I know in part already. I already know in part. But then shall I know fully. Future. As I have been fully known. So we see in that verse this already not yet. I know in part, but then I'll know fully. I see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. So Paul tells us that we are already beholding the glory of the Lord. But we will someday see it even more clearly. Now, we have this experience now that is partial. It's imperfect. But there will come a time where we will know it perfectly. Now, living in this in-between time, we get another great famous verse that speaks of the present reality of beholding Christ. In Hebrews 12, chapter 2, the author of Hebrews tells us to fix our eyes on Jesus, who is the author and the perfecter of our faith. We see his glory now. Now, that's the thing we need to get in mind. We have this future hope, but we see his glory now. The future hope transforms us into his image. 2 Corinthians 3:18 says that us seeing him now is transforming us into the same image.